Hello and welcome to update number 2 of the Mmorpg that I've been developing in Unity3d. Last time I demonstrated a very basic login, registration, and character creation and customization systems. Very basic. This time I'm going to be demonstrating the same thing, although I prototyped a lot of things before this in a previous iteration, including logging into the world, network movement. You can see everyone, walk around, communicate with them, add them to friends list, all sorts of random stuff. But this has been rewritten from the ground up, both client side and server side, in a better fashion all the way around. The server now consists of 2 servers at the moment. It's going to be at least 3 servers in the end. The login server, which is a new server, connects to the proxy server and gets authenticated. Once that server is authenticated, when we send our password, which will be encrypted because the server will send a public key down to the client so we can encrypt the password before we send it. We send that up to the proxy server. The proxy server routes that to the login server, and it handles all the very expensive bottlenecking operations such as decryption and querying the database, which can cause some major issues. If you were to halt an entire server, basically telling 1,000 people, analogous to telling 1,000 people, alright, wait, I gotta check this guy's ID, I gotta send it over, fax this over here, that's ridiculous. That can't happen. So that had to be a separate server. Or it had to be multi-threaded, but it would be better if it was a separate server, and thus it is. So let me just jump right into demoing this for you. Go ahead and launch that. You'll notice some art assets. These are just placeholders, commercially licensed. Really, I'm a programmer, I'm not an artist, I'm not a level designer. However, if you are, feel free to contact me. This project is going to be fun, it's going to be great. But yeah, let me just show you this. We'll go ahead and make an account. I already have an account with that name registered, so I'll add an additional S. Alright, so we'll go ahead and register. If the login server is available, which I'm pretty sure it is, because it started up over here, I believe, then we should be able, yep, there we are, we're registered. Now we should be able to log in. Alright, we're getting our character list. It should be empty for this account. Boom. Here we are. So that I could demo this, I had to make this a little bit smaller than the suggested resolution and aspect ratio. As you can see, the character screen goes off the side. I could actually adjust that code-wise, or even NGUI has a function that allows you to prevent this, but I didn't really want to bother. I was just excited with this being completed and demoable, and that's what matters, because all of this, it really doesn't matter. It's going to be redone. It's the server-side code, and partially the client-side code that really matters, but more the server-side code, because that'll generally persist longer than client-side code, because this could all be rewritten. It's the server-side code that's challenging, and it took some time. Anyway, so we don't have any characters, so we're going to create a new character. Alright, as you can see, we've got this mostly naked man with some idle animation. This is the new UMA or UMA, I don't know how it's pronounced, framework, which is open source framework that is provided by Unity, as well as, I can't remember the developer's name, but someone inside of Unity as well as someone outside of Unity collaborated on this open source project to bring this beautiful framework to create characters at runtime and dynamically edit the model and all that crap, which I don't know about. But I was able to integrate it, although it's kind of in its beta phase. It's not too user-friendly, but it works. I got it to work, so let's go ahead and we'll make a unique guy here. We'll make him a little tall. Right now, the customization options that I've decided to add, I haven't limited them to realistic proportions, which it didn't really matter to me right now because this will be reworked as well. There'll be separate categories because there's a large palette of things that you can change on this model, not just head size, height, and body size, and gender. There's many things that you can change. I just didn't feel like implementing that because this will probably be rewritten. It's just to demonstrate proof of concept, etc., etc. It works, and I can move on to more important and actually more interesting things like developing the world server server-side code and how that's going to handle and how it's going to interact with handling everyone in NPCs as well. That'll be an interesting challenge, which will be more fun. So we'll go ahead and make him tall. Go ahead and give him a tiny head, make him a little chubby. And we'll name him Kevin. And we'll go ahead and create him. Alright, and we can see he's on our character list now. And there he is, Kevin, with the tiny head and the ridiculous belly. So yeah, you can't log in with him yet, but let's go ahead and just make another character real quick. Oh, we'll give her a big head. Go ahead and create her. Alright, now we have big head, and we have Kevin. There's a little bit of a glare because of the bloom effect. That could be adjusted as well, but it doesn't really matter. Alright, so this works. They're stored in a very, very long text string. It's like 6,000 characters on server side on the database. But to prove that this is persistent, I'm going to go ahead and close this application. I'm going to relaunch it. That's going to take a second. I'll make it a bit larger so that that thing doesn't go off the screen. There is a way to anchor it to the sides. I'm going to lag a little bit as I'm recording. There is a way to anchor it to the sides, but it causes some issues if you don't anchor every single thing, and it wasn't really worth the time since GUI will likely be replaced. So let's see if Big Head and Kevin are still there. Oh, I seem to have logged into my other account with a single S. I apologize. So I got Shorty, Problems, and Jack. Well, I messed up there, but as you can see, the characters do persist, even on accounts that I hadn't shown you that were created. But yeah, there's a couple accounts on here that are already created. But that's basically it right now. That's demoable. I'd like to give a huge shout out to the people who worked on the UMA framework. Beautiful. This is one of the most amazing things that Unity has put out, because really it allows you to create content for characters and generate dynamic characters that are different. That you can, well, I haven't demoed it, but you can generate characters at runtime that look different, that are randomized. I don't really have a use for that, but you can actually edit the model of the character at runtime, which is what I'm utilizing here, which is really great. Otherwise, character customization would be a lot more challenging. But yep, this is the demo of the new server-side code that I've written. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you're interested in collaborating, and if you're from the Unity forums, you can go ahead and message me. I would love to have someone who could do some client-side work, level designing, artwork, or something like that. I have the preference of sticking to server-side only. It's interesting. It's more interesting. It's more challenging, and I'm a little bit better at it than I am at this garbage. All right, so that's it. Take care.